Okay, you guys, I'm on the scene where the FBI and the Vegas PD just busted up a possible Chinese bioweapons lab. And I found some pretty interesting things. Check this out. Now, here's a place where they said they found refrigerators with unmarked, unknown liquids, which is actually linked to another bioweapons lab that was found in Reedley, California. But check this out. Now, the house is right over there, but look where it is located. It's literally steps away from this right here, you guys, from the reservoir and pumping station. There you go, right there. So what does this mean? This means whatever they had planned, they want to be close to the water supply. So the last house that they busted up had HIV, Ebola, malaria, you name it. Now, this home was owned by a Chinese national by the name of David Hwy, which was an alias, and he actually transferred the home to David Destiny Discovery, then fled to China post the 2023 Reedley raid. And not to mention, the property manager, Ori Solomon, had multiple passports, including a French passport and an Israeli passport. Now, David Hwy has been in custody since the 2023 raid, but not one, not two, but a third house that he actually owns in Clovis, California pops up as well, so need to look into this one too. And I've been telling you guys for a long time that China has been playing 5D chess when it comes to the invasion of America, because remember this? This happened last year where 3 Chinese scientists were smuggling in dangerous agricultural fungi via the University of Michigan. And it's important to note that one of the scientists actually came from Wuhan. Now, David Hwy and his whole operation had rats that were genetically engineered with the COVID virus. And where do they say COVID started? Wuhan. And if China isn't invading America, then why do they own over 300,000 acres of land in America? And a lot of this land is around military bases, not to mention those pathogens that they were smuggling into the University of Michigan were toxic to agriculture, farmland. And we can't forget CCP-linked billionaire Neville Singham, who fled to Shanghai, was funding anti-ICE riots. So it seems like somebody has it out for us to erode America from the inside out. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, because I'm going to do a bigger breakdown on this, but let me know what you guys think below.
Meet Jia Beizhu, the 62-year-old Chinese national who's basically turned illegal biolabs into his personal franchise. Last week, the FBI and Las Vegas Metro PD kicked in the door of a Northeast Vegas house and hit the jackpot. Over 1,000 mystery biological samples, sketchy hazardous chemicals, full lab setup, and beakers of creepy red liquid that sent 2 workers straight to death's door after exposure. Property owned by an LLC tied to Zhu and his longtime partner in crime. Yeah, this guy's resume is pretty wild. Rewind to 2023 for the original blockbuster. Cops in Reedley, California noticed a random garden hose illegally hooked into a warehouse. Innocent enough, right? Well, they uncovered Zhu's first horror show. Thousands of vials labeled HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, COVID, plus almost 1,000 genetically engineered mice literally designed to catch and spread coronavirus like its party favors. Zhu, aka Jesse Zhu, Zhang He, David He, got slapped with federal charges for mass producing and hawking fake unapproved test kits for COVID, HIV, pregnancy, you name it, while feeding straight lies to the FDA. He and his crew allegedly dumped hundreds of thousands of these bootleg devices into the US and China markets. Oh, and bonus points, the dude was already a wanted fugitive from Canada for massive dairy fraud scams. Authorities are straight up saying the Vegas lab has concerning similarities to Reedley. Same sloppy biosecurity vibes, same public health nightmare energy. The property managers already locked up for illegal hazmat dumping and gun charges, and Zhu, still sitting in federal custody from round 1, is probably about to catch fresh indictments like Pokemon cards. So real talk, America, is Jia Beizhu running a full-on serial biolab empire, possibly with some shadowy backing, or is he just the world's most committed mad scientist with terrible business instincts? Drop it in the comments and follow Raw Report for your news in a minute.
On January 31st, SWAT teams and hazmat crews swarmed a Las Vegas home. What they found was shocking. A secret biological lab hidden in a garage, right in the middle of a neighborhood. This lab was tied to the same Chinese national who was arrested back in 2023 for operating an illegal biolab in Reedley, California. That's where authorities discovered deadly pathogens, Ebola, HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, and even genetically modified mice. Counterintelligence expert Casey Fleming says those two labs are just the beginning of something much more dangerous.
So, just to bring you up to speed, we're talking about biolabs that have been found in some neighborhoods that your kids go to live in, you live in. You wouldn't even know that it's there. But Chinese biolabs. You remember COVID? That was created in a biolab. I think they said in some province in China. But we're talking about similar, something very similar, using alterations in genetic modification, modifying genes, like they said with the mice, or creating just straight out viruses off of other viruses. And what's the intention? I say the intention is to wipe out America, and it's always been like that. And we spend so much time fighting each other over ice or no ice. Then we talking about, hey, taxes or no taxes. I don't like Barack. I don't like AOC. I don't like Trump. All these things. And I'm a believer, while we're doing this fighting, they're slowly establishing themselves in neighborhoods, whether it's cartels, in like, I've seen stories of them, man, in like nowhere places in Georgia or other places. And people don't care. A lot of times when a podcaster or a YouTuber or someone brings attention to this, mainstream media says, hey, no, you're being racist. You're Chinese people are people just like me. They're immigrants. America was built off of immigrants. Isn't that one of the favorite things they like to say? But these things are happening. And until we can balance it out where we, yes, deal with, we are able to now deal with this issue and then recognize that it's not everybody. Yeah, there's some great people from China and Asia that are here, that are China specifically. We're not talking about Singapore. I love Singapore. A lot of people in Singapore, Taiwan, all those places. But specifically, China is the issue. Because China is the one that's trying to knock the U.S. out of position. China is the one that's selling these cheap TikTok goods to you. And it breaks. Or you look at it like, this thing ain't really all that great. Because they know how to sell you cheap shit. And then you go and buy it. But on the other hand, if you don't know that every Chinese national that was born in China and it comes over here, they're required by China to spy on the U.S. Or some of them may have other missions that they got to accomplish. In this case, set up a biolab. Let's do it in this neighborhood.
Chinese biowarfare is no longer some far-off threat.
One in California was actually in a warehouse area, but this isn't a residential home, so it's less likely to be discovered. But a whole assortment of very, very nasty viruses, very lethal viruses.
Was it just an uncommon discovery, or are there more of them out there?
You have to assume that there are more out there. The intended purpose is to kill Americans.
Fleming is the author of the book Red Tsunami. He contends the biolabs here in the U.S. are just one piece of a much bigger plan from the CCP.
27 years ago, the Chinese Communist Party said, we don't want to go up against the U.S. militarily. We want to do everything but that. So they redefined what war is. We think war is binary, and it involves our military, and that's not the way we can think anymore. This war is about every man, woman, and child being on the front lines to weaken the United States.
Unconventional warfare, not just bombs and bullets. Mites, fungi, even viruses, targeting our crops with the goal to wipe out America's harvest.
I released a video. Chinese nationals buying thousands of farmland, thousands of acres of farmland in the Midwest. And nobody says anything. And they recently started to come up against it. God, thank you. People don't like, some of y'all don't like Trump, but the reality of it is, if you didn't have a mega movement or someone saying America first, they've been buying this up for years. And nobody was saying America first. No, they were saying money first. Money, bags. That means somebody sold it to them. And they were cool with getting the bag and bouncing. They didn't care that they were they were selling their farmland to an entity that did not like America. And worst of all, some of these locations are so close to military installations. So we're not crazy. If you're listening to this and you think that this is like we're making this thing up. We're not. This is far from being propaganda. It's a reality, a real reality. And it's taken, and the part that's so bad and that's a shame is that most Americans don't care. They think about it, they may look at it, oh, because it doesn't affect them. See, it doesn't affect you until food starts to dwindle and that all that farmland that should be bringing out food, feeding people throughout the country, it's not being used like that. It's being held and kept because the person who owns it, they're in another country, and they're going to do whatever they feel, whether it's engineering the produce that comes like that to have an effect on us and our children, or just straight not using it in a time of need. We're a very different country, and this is something why I love America. This is one reason why I love America, because of the freedom, the ability to be able to make the money, to be able to lean on God, to hear what he has to say and do certain things. You know, that's for me. For me, I love that. The freedom to be able to talk to you. Some people can't talk to anyone about their concerns. They can't broadcast it. It's a capital offense in some places and punishable by death, speaking against the government or those that are in authority. Okay? And things that happen. So feel the way you want to feel, but at the end of the day, they need to take the farmland back, and we need to recognize that things like this is taking place.
And there's more. Imagine another pandemic like COVID-19, but this time it starts right here in the U.S., not overseas.
The Chinese Communist Party is actually working on COVID-2 and COVID-3 and other very, very lethal viruses in the Wuhan lab. Now, these are a combination of, they've been stolen from U.S. labs, they've been stolen from Canadian labs.
Stolen pathogens brought into the United States undetected by the FBI and Homeland Security. What can we do to stop all this, Casey?
Number one, stop buying Chinese goods and services, period. And stop investing in companies who are doing business in China. You're only feeding...
My man's right. How many times do we look at a product and say, is this made in China? It's made in Taiwan. And the craziest part, I was reading another report, is that they can send this stuff they can make a product, send it to Taiwan, get the Taiwanese stamp, and then it's shipped from Taiwan over here. That's how they circumvent a lot of these tariffs that Trump put on them. So if we're not conscious of this, if nobody's talking about this, nobody's speaking about it, damn well, you know, the realtor won't know. The realtor sold the house to him. They don't even know that if it's true or not. Oh, no. They don't. So we got to be the next tier, because if we don't, we're going to wake up and then everybody's going to be scratching their head because they were fighting against each other. And they didn't recognize the threat that was actually literally at the front door. Literally.
And funding your enemy.
Fleming believes Americans are ultimately engaged in a spiritual battle.
If you want to boil this completely down, this is God versus Satan in all of its form.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
I wouldn't say it's God versus Satan, because God has already defeated Satan. He's already defeated. We're not in no battle to win or do anything. But we are in a battle, I believe, of awareness, because some people are just asleep. They don't know, because if you knew it, you probably would do something different. It took me researching it to say, hey, I need to make some changes. We need to focus on buying freaking not farmed raised food coming out of China or out of Asia. We need it to be wild caught. We need it to be locally wild caught, or at least between Canada, you know, some as far out as Canada or Alaska. But it doesn't need to be coming from China or Taiwan and it's farm raised. A lot of people don't think about that, because we go to Walmart and we just buy. We like, because it's on sale, it's a discount. And after we buy it, it seems like it's no different until you find out that there is a big difference. Hey guys, like, subscribe, follow for more content. This is my rant. This is my piece, my extra that I give out to the community. While you're also at it, you take a chance and you're interested in getting one of our property list, you can definitely go over to just go to the description and we'll put you on our property drip. every Friday, a new property or properties are sent out, that list. And if you want funding for it, we got that too. We got that too. But more importantly, we want you to not sit back and let what's taking place affect you. I keep saying this is the time to actually build assets, not necessarily buy assets. But some people do have the money to buy assets. There's people out here with money. Not everybody's suffering. My thing to you is buy it and buy it right. We're in a buyer's market. Take advantage of it. And hopefully some of the deals we send you can actually increase your portfolio. Hey guys, like, subscribe, follow. I am out. Know that God loves you. You're made in his image. Keep rocking. And man, good things coming your way today.